Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Big Red Mining's channel, forefronting a commodities renaissance. In the midst of a massive sell-off amongst small caps, we are seeing a wicked rally come back within copper, gold. We're going to be talking about all this and so much more. But to kick this off, joining us today, Director Rodney Stevens. Welcome back, sir.
Kyle, good to see you again.
And always a pleasure to see you, man. So before we dive down into the broader view topic here, I noticed that Big Red announced the completion of a preliminary drilling of 1,900 meters comprising of 9 holes at that Dobie Lake property in Ontario, primarily focused around copper. Do you want to just break that down briefly?
Yeah, sure. So we've completed the drilling program, and we've tested some zones that where we already known to have copper mineralization from historic drilling. And from where we picked up some ground samples as well. But in addition, they also intercepted a newly discovered vein called the Alpha vein on the number 2 zone. So we don't have the drill results back, and you never know what the assays are going to look like or how they're going to come out. By the visuals, but in our press release, we show a visual of the core. And what's interesting about it is you could see that there's copper in it. There's the presence of copper mineralization in the form of caprolite, and chalcocite is also very encouraging to what we see in the core. So, you know, I've seen core that has looked fantastic and comes out with no assays of any economic value. And at the same time, I've seen core that doesn't look great at all that comes out with great value. So you can't put too much stock into what you see in the core. But what we can say is that it is very encouraging, at least visually, and maybe the odds are that you know, they could be good. But we'll see. The truth will be out when the assays come. So the assay's been the drill core has been sent to the assay lab, and we should get the assay results in the next, well, within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And hopefully, what will result from it is we'll potentially be able to demonstrate an economic concentration of mineralization, or at least be on the cusp of a discovery in any case.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. It's a good note too that if you guys want those updates, consider subscribing as that news comes down the wire. We will get Rodney back on and updated as it hits the Cedar filings there. But let's expand a little broadly here. I mean, in this really mixed market of how people are feeling about some of their risk on investments, it's incredible to see the commodities market start rallying from those lows. I mean, copper's back over $4.50 per pound. Looks like it could test its highs. It looks like gold's heading well back over the $1,800 range there, and it's nice to see Big Red stock. I mean, it's up 30% from its lows in the midst of a continued sell-off. Do you want to just talk briefly about how you feel about the current commodity market here and just what you see moving forward?
Sure. Well, the timing of the release of these drill results could be fairly good because it looks like copper and the metals, most commodities are actually turning around. Most commodities, particularly gold and copper, appear to have a 10-year bull market cycle. And halfway through, they usually have a dip or consolidation move, which is what we've experienced over the past year or so in both gold and copper. And it looks like that consolidation or dip in both metals has ended and has in fact bottomed and started moving higher. So we think, you know, the tide has turned and commodities are ready to move higher significantly and substantially and sustainably over the course of the next 5 years. But of course, the further we go into this bull market, the more the supply deficit in the case of copper is growing. And you know, we might not be in a you know, inflation might not be poised to take off like consistently yet, but we're getting there. We're getting closer to a sustained level of increasing inflation. So, you know, I think the stage is set potentially for actually a super cycle in the metals, which might extend beyond 10 years. But the encouraging part is this mid-year cycle dip looks to be over, and I think we're headed higher here over the next number of years. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm sure the shareholders would love to hear more about that. But on that note, Rodney, I definitely appreciate these insights and your time today. Thanks for coming out.
Always a pleasure.
And also, guys, let us know what you think in that comment section below. This is an open-ended conversation, so anything you think we could perhaps bring up to Rodney at a future Q&A date. But in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.